certainly here I've got a system that, although it's based on a home system, it's a bit beefier than what you normally have at home. We're talking 8 gig of RAM, a quad-core processor, terabyte of disk space. And the reason why we have this is a lot of folks will call me for forensics work. They may think that somebody's put a virus on their computer, or somebody hacked into them,
Right.
or is their significant other surfing porno at night,
Right.
that kind of thing. We can take these systems, I can then image them off to this system and do a little bit of research. So let me show you how that works, and this also is a good reason to look at why people should consider Linux. The window that I just brought up here has each of these lines are a different operating system.
Okay.
So I've created a safe environment for, let's say, 8. I didn't count them all specifically, but the one here I've got labeled as XP Pro. It's shut off, so I'm going to double-click it and turn it on. And what this is essentially doing is taking and creating a virtual environment within what we would call this hypervisor.
Yes.
So the hypervisor is what's driving this version of Windows XP Pro. So I go up here, and now I click Run, which is just like turning the button on. And you can see it's booting up. It creates its own BIOS, goes through its own self-check, and of course, being Windows, it's going to take a minute to come up. But here you see we have XP Professional.
That was pretty fast.
Relatively quick, and again, you want to have a good system that's got
And this is
multi-threading
Windows
capability.
coming up within the Linux operating system.
Right. The hypervisor is the Fedora 11 version of Linux.
Much like I could run with Parallels Windows on my Mac.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And this creates an entire virtual environment. In fact, if I were to look at the hardware configuration in this virtual environment, you would see that I actually, here we go. Here, I'm having a little tracking issue, which happens sometimes when the machines are just getting set, because there's a lot of housekeeping that has to go on in the meantime.
Right.
So let me put in my password here, and I multitask a little bit. But yeah, the CPU here, now you'll notice the icons that I had, I had icons here for just a split second, and my icons went away.
Yes.
That's a good sign that no virus protection found. It had an old antivirus on it that had expired. And so we have malicious code that's gone in here, taken over, disabled that antivirus.
Right.
And now the first thing that it did to be malicious is wipe all my icons off my desktop.
Oh.
So
And what virus is this? Do you know?
Well, we have a whole slew of them. So what I'm going to do here is take a look, and it's running the check. I'm already up to 42 viruses that have been located.
Ouch.
Just within this amount of time.
And so how did you get these viruses on
Well,
there?
this particular one was imported, compliments of my father.
Oh.
He was searching for some video footage of the Korean War.
Right.
And a buddy of his had suggested that he look at this one site, but it wasn't really a reputable, well, it's not that it wasn't a reputable site, but it was a site that they didn't do their maintenance real well.
Right.
So people had put on footage that ended up getting malicious code in it, because
Okay.
a popular thing that people will do is they'll attack your system, they'll look for your file share programs, either video or music, and they'll virus those programs. So then when you go share them to other people, you are the one spreading the virus.
Oh.
And that's a type of a Trojan horse type of virus, but you've got malware, spyware, viruses, and there's just so many ways that you can get yourself in trouble. So know what's on your system, know where you're going with these things, and maybe in another segment we can talk about how to take care of those things. But this is exactly why Linux, because I can run here,
Right.
and you'll never see these viruses are totally fenced off from the other 8 systems that are running.
So they are within the Windows or the Windows operating system right there. They're not going to
Yep.
leach out into your Linux.
Exactly right. And in fact, this little box right here, it's its own little fence. So when I pull up this next version of XP Pro, which actually I already have it running, it doesn't have the same, it doesn't have a chance of getting the virus as long as it's in.
All right, well, we'll be right back, and you'll be watching Mouse Clicks TV Reboot.